Hopefully this worked. Audio levels hopefully okay. Somebody yell at me in the comments if they're not. So, we are here once again, as we are every year. Unfortunately, it's just me this time. Prop is an old man now, doesn't really fly. Levi, God knows what he's doing. So, just me. We're going to go over these GQ tracks. I'm a little washed, but see how it goes. I've been flying exclusively tiny whoops. Just for Whooptopian Museum Race, so... Alright, new tracks. A little bit of a myth theme this year. Cerberus, Dragon, Griffin, Kraken, Minotaur, Phoenix. Might as well go top to bottom, I guess. Start out with Cerberus. Looks like people are liking it. Guess we'll see. Start off nice and easy. Just haven't flown one of these things in a while. Forgot how high my rates are. Bunch of gates, obviously. 3 down, nice center line. Bunch of elements right off the end of it. This may be lined up. Yeah, it looks like this is all in line right here. Start gate kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Ladder, nice to see a ladder. This gate lined up with this one. Maybe that's important. Who knows? Cones make it look like it's not. So, brutally honest is what Phil wants. Alright. I mean, set up for the most part, a few lines that are off-center. This looks like it doesn't line up with anything, but for the most part, pretty good. Dubicki, how we doing? Good to see you. Alright. I'm going to give it a guess, actually, just based on the cones, what we're doing. Oh, okay. Probably could cork there. That feels right. Let's see. No camera, Dubicki. I'd have to clean my room for that, and we both know I'm not doing that shit. Alright. Yeah, that makes more sense. Oh, top down. Okay. Oh, Jesus. Weird. Alright. What's up, Trisha? I mean, for the most part, fairly standard. I'm trying to look at 2 different spots. Yep. Thanks for the screenshot. Shout out Potty, of course. I mean, for the most part, just looking at this one. Weird little cork entry there. Ladder, all cool. A little bit of a 5 degree. I don't really, care, but if you're a person that cares about that, you might not like this track. I mean, personally, for me, it's copyright strike. No. It's fairly simple. I mean, decent use of the space. Feels like it's a little bit tight in the front. And they just kind of used up space at the back because they can. Like, they just had so much left over. The template definitely changed for this year. This feels like a different size environment. I think. Almost feels more true to life with like how much space there is between these gates, rather than the old template that was really squished up with bigger gates. So I'm not sure. This feels fairly classic. It's always hard to judge the first one because rated too high, and the rest of the tracks have to be even better than that, maybe, if they are. Rated too low, and good God, it could be a downward spiral. I would say overall, pretty fun flow. Like, that's a nice little element. Don't think we've seen that before on GQs. Ladder down, nice and traditional. Like, front entry ladder. Let's talk about ladders. I'm laddering all the gates now. For the most part, not bad. Again, setup. Let's do a kickflip. Which one's that? Is that one kickflip? I don't go outside. But yeah, overall, pretty decent track. I'm not gonna say a huge winner. Not bad either. Like, most of the parts have pretty good flow through them. Might be confusing first go through, but obviously the standout section here is this nice ladder up into the cork down as I mess it up. I'm curious how big this is going to feel with these spaced out from the gates, almost 5 feet. Like, if this flag rotates around the other way because your field is windy, then you're going way out here to get it. So that could be a little regional variance for, like, poles versus flags, whatever you have. Again, just looking at, like, where you're going to save time in the end. Didn't like the cork down knife. I don't know, it's definitely the standout feature. Like, it's either going to be really like that or you really don't like that, I feel. The entry's really nice, where you have all this line selection out here. You can, you know, coming out of this split S, you can either cut super tight and then have a little bit more of like a turn going into it, like here. Or if you cut this out like super wide, you kind of straight line it. That feels better to me. The only thing that feels a little weird, this kind of feels exactly the same as dropping into this and kicking out. Especially with it being the same direction. That's a little repetitive. Other than that, pretty good to me. Man, I usually have somebody else on here I can complain at and get ideas from them, but pretty straightforward for this one. Not going to spend too much time on it. Maybe I'll come back when I'm kind of rating the tracks. But let's move on. This one's alright. Oh, if anybody's curious. Don't give out strats. No, I mean, mostly stock. I pump up the eye gains because they're super low in here. Rates, it's what I've been running for a year at this point. I know they're very high. I run really long stick ends, so not too crazy. Go get Spencer. No, he's down today. Evil shit. You're out of your mind, Dubicki. Callie, how we doing? I mean, fairly standard. High rates, high eye term. Long stick ends for the gimbals. Alright, Cerberus. A lot of 5 stars. Maybe not a 5-star in my opinion, but I don't know, it seems like everything's getting 5 stars, so we either have low standards or they're all good. Alright, number 2, we have Dragon. No cones on Dragon. This will be fun to come up with my own track for. I guess we'll see. This is exciting. I like to see this. Except for that's going the wrong way. Now I don't care. I mean, big chunks of gates, right? Like 3 here with a flag, 3 here with the flag. That's 6 gates, 2 flags. That's half the track in, like, you know, 2 major sections. Hurdle use out here. Kind of curious where... I have no idea how that's going to be used. Nice just flag, maybe a ladder in the middle out to the hurdle. Who knows? Let me, here's our start block, I guess. Go ahead and give this a shot here. Just gonna kind of guess what we're doing. Probably a cork and back. Maybe all the way out, another cork. Hopefully not. They're probably gonna ladder this up. And then, like a double. This could be a lot of corks, or I like corks. We'll see. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Let's see. How close did I get? Alright, ladder down to begin. Cork 1 and out. Makes sense. Out to the flag. Oh, to the... What? Center gate. Out, over, back, cork, down, over? Tough. Okay, that's... Okay. I don't know what this is. Just giant speed section. But then back and over. Oh no. Frontside entry into cork that I can't seem to hit. This one's weird. Give me a second. Yeah, just full right turn that for no reason. Oh. Weird. How fast does it go? 99 miles an hour. As you well know. I don't know, this one's got fun stuff on it. Nice little cork into switchback section. This is super odd feeling. Like, I think it makes more sense at low speed and doesn't so much at high speed? I'm not sure. If I kind of kick around on this, like if I really come into this section, it feels better to go right and then left? I'm not sure. This is odd. Surely this would make more sense as an over first and then an under. But maybe I'm just out of my mind? Yeah, I don't... Huh. I feel like weird's an understatement. Set a 100. I'm not sure what you meant. This track sucks. Look, yeah, I'm kind of anti-flow track. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm not sure. The first section all flows nice. This all flows nice out to here. It'd be nice if that was above the flag before you cut back. I feel like that makes it flow better. But that's all nice. This is a huge straight shot coming out of this cork. I mean, you're laddering down cork into this. Like, you could straight shot out. This being at the edge is terrifying to me because, yeah, spacing lost a little bit. For me, it's the fact that this being out towards the edge, depending on the size of your field where you're flying this GQ, you could have a line of trees right here. You know what I mean? So, one wrong move and clip this gate and bam, trees. So, not sure. Big boss, thanks for that. That's what I needed this evening. I don't know, this one's interesting. Not sure how I feel about this section. I feel like it could have been somewhere there. I don't know. Feels like promising bones to me. Like, there's a lot of things on this track that make good sense, but then once you add them all up, it's a little goofy. I feel fine about it. Yeah, I feel just okay. Again, not sure who made any of these, so there's always a chance I'm talking shit directly about somebody here, or a friend of mine. So, we'll see, but whoever did this, you have an imagination, I'll tell you. I like all these parts individually. I just feel like there's no connection with them. And maybe that's just me being rusty. Like, but that just feels... This just feels so odd to do. Especially coming at it from such a wide angle. Like, if you were coming at this way tighter, it would feel better. But I don't know, with the angle you're coming at it, somewhere around the top and back in would... Feels like it makes more sense. Is Mr. Man's track? It definitely is. Definitely. Because he makes so many tracks that aren't for tiny whoops. I don't know. I'm weirded out by it. Not sure how I feel about it in general. But I'm going to keep going. I'm scared that this has 5 stars from 2 people because I'm not sure it deserves it. But maybe it does. I don't know. Let's see how the rest of them are. Move on to Griffin. 1 star for Griffin from 2 people. That's a tough one. I'm genuinely curious how this one looks. Ratings out of 10. See, I feel bad giving a rating out of 10 because the scale slides as I do more of these. Right? So it's... I'm not comparing them to GQs in the past. I'm going to have to compare them to each other because... I mean, if we could pick a GQ out of the past... that would certainly make me happy. I don't know. There's some good tracks back then, even the ones that didn't win. I'll do any of them but Gecko. 6 to 7 ratings, no chance. Alright, if I had to rate them just on a general, like, GQ-style track scale, I feel like, what was the first one? Cerberus? I'd give it like a 7, maybe 7.5. It was pretty good. It was classic. There's nothing super, super interesting. But it felt good. Dragon, I'm gonna like a 4 or 5. I'm not doing it, Red Sky. I'm not doing it. Yeah, the different levels of coning are crazy. I feel like they usually kind of vet that better or have, you know, Mystery or yourself clean them up, EDOC. Maybe that's just, maybe I'm remembering wrong. -14 to 21. What are these scales? It's just, oh, rated from building to Lamborghini. Like, let's see what that is like, you know? No, I don't know. Yeah, Dragon probably a 4 or 5. Cerberus somewhere 7 to 7.5. I did not. I did not say that. All right. Anyways, moving on to Griffin that people seem to give a 1 star, even though it looks like a super traditional track. I understand why they give it a 1 star now. Hold on. What in the fuck is this? Okay. Let's see if I can go around this. Can I rank from AM32 to BMI 270? That's just from shit to shit. I don't understand. What is the rating scale? Jesus. Setup wise, this all looks to be like one long line right here with another line intersecting it. This one might be off the edge of that. Yep, right off the edge of this corner. So that's pretty useful. Center looks like flag, not quite on the gate corner, but it might be off of this one. All right. There's something there. This is kind of out on its own, just middle of nowhere. This is like dead center of the two, so that's a little odd. Prospect to Street League. Ooh. What are the increments there? Is it like Pro Spec, 6S Freedom Spec, Tiny Trainer, 3S Freedom Spec Street League? I feel like that's the spec scale, right? I don't know. I feel like that's it. I want to see if I can give this one a go here. The arrow's telling me to go this way, but the lights on the ground are telling me that this is the start gate? Oh, it's... Okay, they want you to, like, crazy start the GQ for some reason. Absolutely not doing that. I'm just going to be going right here. In... Maybe that's just for the start? I don't know. Here... Oh, dear God. I don't know. Cork? Then over and in? If this is over and in, I like that at least. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling rusty personally, but trying to at least stay out there. Use gate indicators. No. You don't understand, Mr. Man. You missed the first few tracks. I'm trying to see if I can figure it out without the indicators. Up. Oh, okay, that's cool. I like that. Over. Oh, God. I split us into big old corkscrew and over. You know, I feel like I was not close at all. In all honesty, this could have been way more accurate. This is... I can't stand these. I'll be so honest with you guys. Yeah, it's just all sweepers, it feels like. A traditional, like, big, flat ground oval sweeper, I don't mind that. That's fun to me. But the, like, oh, I'm going to go over this, and I'm going over this, and I'm going back, and then I'm going back again. It just feels like lazy writing. Big boss. No. Yeah. I feel like I've seen these a lot on modern tracks, like from 2023 and on. I guess 2022 had a pretty major one at I.O. I just don't understand this. This is just more full throttle, hard turn, burn your battery for no, like, separation, I should say. Right, everybody's quads are about the same speed. This is just forward giant apexes that you get 3 seconds to line up for. I could say Colby. No. That's not a Colby thing, I don't think. I feel like Neil did them a lot in 22 for IO that year. I'm sure Colby's done one at some point. I don't know, it just feels like lazy usage of space. which is sad because I feel like a lot of the rest of this track is actually pretty fun. Good, like, separation points for some of it. The split S into corkscrew is kind of the same as last year on the spring GQ, where it had the... It was a different direction, but you basically did the split S. And, oh, maybe I could do a split S. Okay, we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. But it's like the big out split S, and then you cut in and did the corkscrew on the inside and kept going. This feels basically the same with the... Oh, dear lord, I keep hitting this gate. Split S into, like, the cork. This is used a little better on the out, but the in feels exactly the same to me. You hit that without the indicators. I hope so. They put cones on this one. It was a little easier. I mean, overall, yes, just... I just want to do something with this gate. Like, give me a ladder down and do a opposite ladder. I don't care. I'll do more ladders. I just don't want to, you know, and we're here, and we're here. Like, I feel like that's a really common spec track line, and it just does nothing. Like, it's a big Apex. We understand big Apex by now. It's 2026. Like, let's get something a little bit more technical going, especially with the GQ, right? This is a big separator track. And again, giant sweeper, all cool. All cool. Right, there's your open section. Now, 7 corkscrews, please. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Steve seems like he's already tired, but Steve, you're old. You should be in bed by now, man. Apex is in the big 26. That's what I'm saying. Good old man ASMR. God. No, and again, not Colby slander, but I also will, you know, when I disagree with someone, I'm going to let them know. It's not slander. It's, hey, I don't like that element. I feel like we've done that a lot. I get bored pretty quick. Speaking of, I'm kind of bored of this one. We're going by the, gosh, whose rating scale do I want to use for this one? I think I'm going to go with not sure's from -14 to 21. I'm going to call this a 7.5. If I give my feedback to Colby, I'll get an AI picture. I don't think I deserve a picture like you did. You know? Yours was better. I don't photograph well. Not 6.7, not... Oh. No. Yeah, it's positive. It's a good track overall. I might not like that section, but I think a lot of people enjoy it. And maybe that's just me. I don't know. There's a big, like, spec track push to make things easier. No, I didn't. I said 6.7. There's a difference. And again, spec track push, trying to make everything easier. I don't think that's benefiting us. I have a similar opinion on back when the British pilots were all still flying 2 minutes versus everywhere else doing like 3-lap consecutive. I feel like dumbing things down or kind of being, you know, behind on where we should be on tracks and competition style only negatively affects pilots. Next week. I might pick that one later. Alright, moving on to Kraken. Our next track here. Another one of these. Pretty good space usage. A lot of space. I'm hoping it's well used. This seems like it's going to be pretty awkward, but maybe not. I don't know. Some tracks feel like, you know, big strong line, and then stop to the element. And then another big line, stop to the element. And stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of that. But this looks like it might be one pretty easy to understand. Like, I think the coning's done well, which is convenient. This is... Sure, yeah, we're going to go with that. And then a drop in. Like, this is a very... Hold on. Okay. Okay. How many of these do we want to do? Hopefully I'm wrong. Haven't turned on the indicators yet. How do I rate a track? That's a good chunk of info right there. For me, there's flow, there's complexity, right? This is a qualifier track. It should be challenging enough to separate the pilots in some meaningful way that's not just luck. Or fast quad is fast, right? If you're using a super fast quad and you have like 7 seconds on everybody else, that's ridiculous. So you need to tighten it up to the point where that's not happening. And then flow is important just in general. I feel like if something flows well, it's actually fun to fly, and if it doesn't, then it's probably just not fun to fly. I mean, maybe that's just me again, but that's how I do it. EDOC, too many people using quads too big for their skill. So many people should be using 3.5 inch on a GQ. I think I agree and disagree on this. There's 3.5 inch is kind of one thing, but it's super different than doing like a 5 inch with a throttle cap. Right? If you look back, especially like all the older Kebab videos, it's something he talked about a lot was disc loading. Right? So when your disc loading number is higher, you basically can turn around and stop the quad faster because you have that much more drag acting on it. Right? So 5 inch, even with low throttle, you're not going as fast. But if I need to, come here and I've come to this and I'm like, oh crap, I've messed up, I could still turn around pretty quick, right? A lot of these 3.5 inch builds that are focused on top end, their motors don't even have enough speed to stop them. So you get like way back here and you're like, oh crap, maybe I should come over here because you full throttled in the straight when you needed it. And then, you can get out of it. I think having more tracks would be fun. I don't know. There's not enough people voting to really fractionalize down tracks that way, in my opinion. Like, last year, the winning track, I think, won by like 2 votes. Yeah. There's just not that much participation. There's similar to voting in real life, but no big deal. That's what I have to do with the top 3. Was it Kiss, Marry, Kill? Yep, figured that. Can't wait to see which one he kills. Love the low element. Interesting. Which one do you mean, Knife? I think there's some cool stuff on this track for sure. I hate to take on what you can and can't fly. This is literally a for fun hobby. Yeah, 100%. You can fly whatever you want. This is, again, I just look at these tracks. One from buildability. That's fairly objective. I'll say that. Like buildability, ease of setup, how much work it's going to take for somebody to measure this out. Just to clarify that, like this is 2 gates or gate and flag in a line. Now you've got this kind of in the middle of nowhere. This has a bunch of stuff going on for it. It's all straight. When you go on the 45s, it's a little more difficult for them to build. Oh, same element from Spring GQ just flipped. Interesting. I get bored of repetition, but I think it is different in one way that makes it feel somewhat unique, but it's very reminiscent of that track. Sorry, I'm super ADHD, so I'm just going to go back and forth on comments here. Buildability is objective in my opinion, right? It's, hey, this is in line with this, that makes it easy. This is in line with this, that makes it easy. As somebody that's set up these tracks a bunch of times, I like it when they don't take a ton of time, especially when I was in Florida in the sun. It's hot out. GQ's over the summer. It's 95 degrees out, 90% humidity. Not a huge fan. The double with the single rack. Oh, this one right here? This is fun. I love these. Love those. Just a nice, like, classic element. That's fun. Solus tracks, he was, yeah, incredible at it. He really was. I didn't realize he's not flying, maybe not making tracks. That's a bummer if he's not. He was super chill, actually. But yeah, buildability is objective. I look for things that I would like. Super subjective, right? I'm one person. I like certain things. If you see the tracks I build for myself, I feel like it's fairly obvious the type of stuff I like. Overly confusing tracks that loop back on themselves and use gates more than once. But that's because I practice alone. There is not really anybody, wasn't anybody in my area for a long time, so it's just me. And then flow, I think, is, again, somewhat subjective, somewhat objective, right? Pilots that fall into a similar flying style will find things that are similar to have the same flow, and people that don't really don't have, they maybe won't measure the flow in the same way or think about it the same way. So, two subjectives, one objective, but that is why I'm hosting a hangout and track review and just giving out my opinions, right? I'm not right on everything, not right on most things. Yeah, tracks that connect well are awesome. That's kind of what I'm here for, is stuff that connects well and has some bit of challenge to it. This will be my... Oh, you almost had me there. I think it's my 6th GQ season. I just want something that's not boring, because I've flown these a lot, and once GQ season starts, that's the only track anybody seems to fly. Maybe the regional series will change that, but who knows? Time will tell. Alright, keep going then. Phil, let's put 10 gates in a row in the middle, and the flags make you do 180-degree turns. I hate you. Not a fan of that, personally, but yeah. Right to crack any element in all of FPV. I'm not answering that question. It's insane. Let me move on with this track here. We got some interesting elements on this one. Yep, kind of what I thought. Alright, I'm an idiot. This is backwards to what I thought it was. That's cool. Corkscrew one way, corkscrew opposite direction. This is... Alright, that'll be interesting too. I kind of like the top-down letter better for this. This is what I find weird, is this middle section there. And then the doubled up left hand split S gates, like the Dunkaroos on there. Cool little segmented corkscrew here, right? So if you don't like corking, hey, guess what? I'm going to cut right left. This section is kind of diabolical, I'll be honest. This is a... You better hope you hit your apex out of the back of this ladder correctly, right? Because if you end up too close on this side, you're just, sneaking your way through there. You end up too wide, smack. So, somewhere towards the outer edge, and hopefully that ends up correct. How about we ban all odd number qualifiers? Insane. Left turn only track, please. No, it's not NASCAR. Let's not do that. Thoughts on a double cork ladder dive? What does that mean? So on the wide cork, is it faster to cork it or wiggle waggle? That depends what you're better at. Right, E-Doc? Like, if you're better at staying low to the ground and weaving, that's probably the way to go. If this is the track chosen, I mean, I'll test them both in real life, but there's a high likelihood, just because of how I end up out of this flag, that I'll just slam it like a corkscrew. Just full right roll and not worry about it. Do you think a track can feel good in the sim and bad IRL and vice versa? Absolutely. For a bunch of reasons, right? There's spacing. Like, I think this template has laid out the spacing of these gates better, so hopefully they'll feel more realistic. In years past, the GQ tracks were, like, notoriously horrendous on spacing and gate feel. Right? So much so that all the top times in the sim were, like, 20 to 22 seconds. And the times in real life are, like, 27 to 29 seconds, right? There's some metric there that's making it different. We know the quads behave pretty similarly between the real world and the sim. So, that's one way to do it. And then there's tracks that are way better in the sim than real life, because they're either one in locations that if you crash, you've absolutely destroyed a quad, or there's just like a weird element that has a high crash rate that's only fun in the sim, because who gives a shit when you smash a sim quad? You're not paying for it. I mean, that's my take, at least. Some odd questions in there. I'm gonna ignore those, I'll be honest with you. Apex Air. Incredible. Switch, how we doing, man? Yeah. I mean, for the most part, sun is far less blinding in the Sim 2, 100%. You see that on a lot of tracks. 22 Champs is really bad about it, with the sunset basically lining up with the start straight and just absolutely ruining your vision. It was incredible. This track, I feel like, has, again, it's one that has a number of good features on it. Like, all of these parts are pretty cool individually. This feels like a little excessive use of the gates we have for the GQ, right? It's limited to 10 gates, 5 flags, and a hurdle usually. I don't know if that changed. Phil will know. But this could have super easily just been a ladder, and then you could spend this gate somewhere else. Maybe on making this not 2 left-hand Dunkaroo sections in a row. Maybe that's just me. Again, all subjective. Which apex were you saying you better have right? Yeah, knife. Let me go. It's right here in the center section. So when you think about how you're doing your ladders, right, because you're coming from here, you have to do this nice big ladder. A lot of people will be super wide on the opening of their ladder and then straight line the second half. So something to be really careful about is, hey, if you're going to come super wide and then straight line close, this next gate right here, where I'm basically having to go from dead straight here to like cut in right pretty quick. Right, and if you're doing this at any sort of reasonable speed, then you're going to be like cutting the center of that gate or trying to hit this and then you can't really get over that quickly. Maybe that's just me. So if you stay a little bit more centered to wide on this, right? So if I'm coming from here, maybe I'm taking this a little wider. Now this gate, you know, because of the way the angle is, it's no longer a foot wide. Now it's 4 feet wide, right? And that's the kind of the game of 5-degree gates is where do you take the risk on a super narrow gate versus widening the lineup and making that section a little easier. Oh gosh, comments are going. Ebok, fastest, most best pile I've ever seen. 100%. 100%. Bennett asking if I figured out how to change cam position in the sim. Yeah, it's called switch drones. That's the only way to do it in here. There's no independent camera moving game. If Ash would let me put a new drone in the sim, I would make a perfect camera position drone. The best drone that's ever been seen for camera position. No one would know. Just watching you fly this one, it looks pretty bad. I don't know, maybe I'll like it more when I fly it. I'm not upset about this one. The only thing that's a glaring loss in my eyes is the fact that we have left Dunkaroo. Oh, I'm going to hit that. Don't worry about that. But left Dunkaroo into an immediately another left Dunkaroo. Outside of that, the rest of this is pretty cool. I like the wide cork. I even like this section for the fact that you can kind of choose how risky you want to be. But that's just me. Again, the left Dunkaroo is the only real downside for me. I really like that section. It connected well with the previous gate. Yes, knife. I 100% agree with you. This like nice wider corkscrew sets you up for this ladder really well to me. It's just like line choice coming in again. 2 narrows, 1 bad, 2 wides, smack into the gate. So, yeah. Wish the start gate was more on the straight. Maybe. That's one that'll be interesting, because if the scale holds up true to how it has in the past, it'll feel like this gate's about, 15, 20 feet farther out than it is in the sim. That's just me. Also, same features last year with the ladder to cork, just reversed. Yep, it is. It is a different entry, kind of. Last year was like that big wide entry into it, or maybe it was, no, there was no, was there a ladder into cork? I might be remembering wrong. I don't remember last year. I thought it was like a ladder and then a hurdle. Dubicki, you're welcome to do that. If you want to have a little drinking game to yourself, just take a shot every time you hear me say that's just me. Yeah, go for it. Sweep into it. Define it. That's not a call out. FMV sim race is sweet. Unfortunately, on a work trip. Yep. I wonder who would have sent you out there, Daylight. That's a huge loss. No on summer GQ, not spring. I don't even remember the summer GQ. I think I flew it once. Can we... What frame of motors am I going to run this season? Who knows, man, right? I'll tell you, it's almost certainly going to be the RCM Power Wasp Evo Plus motors. They're the same stator size as my motors that I put out a couple years ago and subsequently never released again because they're expensive. As for frame, Wumbo, huge votes for Wumbo. I love that thing. There's that. There's another one that I've been working on with Connor Rogowski with CR Works. That one's pretty cool. I'm not going to go way too into it. Oh, well. Red Sky in on the drinking game. Awesome. Unreleased Big Boss. No, those are released. I don't fly anything unreleased. Oh, God. I've had my own Jace moment. This is perfect. I get the Wasp Evo Plus motors are great, but that's literally a block of cream cheese. No. Not for me, at least. I don't know. I haven't had any issues with them. I'm not sure what issues you've had. You think the aluminum's cheap? That's a little insane to me. I feel like RCM Power makes the highest quality motors out there. Definitely not contractually required to say that or anything. But I've been flying them since 2021. Pretty consistently. No issues. Who's Rock One? Not pay money. I don't know what that means. Pay money, Wubby fan? I have no idea. Define the term. I'll figure it out. Promise I'll get you an answer one way or another. Yeah. Kraken, pretty okay. Kind of middle of the road. I'll give it a 6.5. And I wouldn't go 0.5 farther than that. Alright, on to Minotaur. Second to last, RC in power is expensive and nicer VCI. I think there's some pretty stark differences. But, you know, can talk about it if you want or not. They're both companies that I like. I've flown both their motors. They're both quality. I just think there are some differences. Minotaur is gas. Let's find out on that one. Right off the bat, like weird offset gates. I like that. I'm really hoping this is like a, you know, Indy 500 section where you spiral around a couple times. Big straight line in the center out to something out here. I don't know. Everything feels like it's on its own line. Maybe this lines up at the corner of that at like a 45 or something. This certainly doesn't line up to anything else. Maybe straight on that flag does. And it's kind of a cattywampus deal. See? Whoa. I'm giving you my thoughts, Mr. Man. But I'm trying to read comments and fly, and the monitor's too far to my right. Alright. Buildability, this one's a little all over the place, I'll be honest. These gates are kind of lined up. Everything else is just out in Narnia. But, yeah. We give it a good college try here on my attempted fly-through. This one is cone, so that is a little bit of cheating. Looks like it's going to go out to here. Ladder down. And backside. Split S. Holy, like, long straight into this corner gate. Once again, one of these, which is going to be like a giant... Oh, never mind. So not fully there yet, slowly turning into it. This looks like it's an up ladder, actually, over this hurdle. And then like a... I don't know, man, maybe a ladder down into this, into the center. Conings are just okay on this one. Let's give it a shot, see what they actually did. This all felt fairly obvious. Yep. Up, ladder down. cut back in on the back half. Big split S drop that I cannot do. Big split S hater today, I'll be honest. Ladder up over to here. And then the ladder down into like a extending spiral. Okay. Alright, this is interesting. Big ladder track. Lots of ladders. Oh. Yeah, maintain the right direction out of that ladder. Jesus. Think I'd figure that out by now. Don't get old. Okay. This one's confusing. Yeah, it is a little bit. Just a little bit. Nordy, how we doing, man? Like we haven't chatted in a little while. What's my go-to Sonic order? I haven't been to Sonic in forever, dude. I don't know. They had corn dogs on sale on Thursdays. I know that much. Go-to order from Panda. Double orange chicken, white rice. Throw the fortune cookie away. Easy as that. Return to 8-lap qualifying. Just didn't count. No. Daylight, why? Alright. Going at this again. Let's see how this track is for a second time. Up and over, ladder down. I like this like reverse side entry on that. Big straight. This is terrifying. Cool, but terrifying. Lots of ladders. Very high speed also. Like, I think this is kind of where that personal preference comes in on whether you like technical or whether you like high speed, big apexes. This one's kind of combining two a little bit with all the ladder usage. But, like, that's a giant... I mean, the GQ, I think, gets 200 feet. Or 250 feet for the length. This is like 140 foot straight. So, fast quad wins on this one, boys. Prop up. And again, it's the same, even like straight into a big spiral up into, hey, we're doing more straight. But I mean, this is just a fast track. I'm not flying it fast, but it is a fast track. This is a little awkward. This is the only thing that's really odd, is like that cutback. I feel like somebody's going to be coming on to their second lap, somebody a little ahead of them's coming back for this, and they're just going to smack into each other. But yeah. It can't be good luck to throw the fortune cookie away. No. Gotta throw it away. What's my favorite fast food chain? Is Chipotle fast food? If it is, it's that. 200 foot for the full length. So let's call this 120 foot straight, probably. Or, wow, I'm in the wrong spot. 120 foot straight, probably. Just all the way down the line. Better hope your quad's fast. And you better hope that you don't pre-turn and ruin it. That is the one benefit of this, is it's not a super pre-turny gate. You kind of just turn after you do it. It's not going to hurt your time that much. Other than that, like, this is it's pretty good. No, like, glaring faults in my head. There's this, the only thing here, I'm going to say the only thing a lot. That's what I'm going to do. This section has a weird, you know, you're coming from here, right turn. Okay, carry the right, keep going right. Hold on, we're going to go right again. All right, now we go left. All right, there's like 4 seconds of, hopefully your right roll control is really good. Personally, I'd like to see maybe like a cut left out of here and then back, just for some balance. Again, personal preference. Your mileage may vary. No, this is a decent middle-of-the-road track. I'm going to continue to cut left there because I like it better. But nothing super groundbreaking, but also no huge risks that make it awful. This ladder down with the split gate, this is very cool. I like this a lot. That's kind of the most unique section in my head. So there's that, and then there's the ladder into the reverse entry gate. That's also very cool to me. And it breaks it up. Even though this is reverse entry directly into a split S, it doesn't feel like the same move twice. So I'm a huge fan of that. Moving a mock level conversation. I'm doing okay. I'm hitting a lot, so we'll see if that gets better. Best meal at Panda Express is just ordering 10 or 20 spring rolls. Rate this one on what Panda order it is? I wish I could, you know, but I don't know what else Panda serves. I don't. They've got one menu option for me. I think they have teriyaki chicken. That's the only other thing on the menu I could even tell you about. And that's pretty okay. Smash or pass on this track? I mean... No, we'll go smash on this track. This one's not bad at all. The full right turn for 4 seconds is a little weird. But that's not a deal breaker, you know? It's just one of those things. What do you think about an advanced multi-class champs? Qualifying on Pro Spec 5-inch loops than champs is round 2 to 3. Love it. More classes, more better. I fly everything, so I'm a huge fan of that. There's a lot of people that don't fly everything. So they probably wouldn't enjoy that, and maybe that's a deal breaker for them. But Street League 7, yeah. Street League Open Whoop, slow champs. Huge fan of that. That's crazy. Thanks, Mr. Man. Smash or pass on Tomas? Not going to answer that one. We already know the answer. It's no, but... Oh, well. Only it's unfortunate. It's crazy. Alright. I think I'm caught up on chat, and I'm caught up on this track. 1 to 10 scale. I'd have to give it kind of the same as the first one. Probably a 7. Possibly 7.5. Not my favorite thing in the world, but good solid option. I think that leaves just Phoenix. With 4 5-star reviews. It's the most highly praised track on here, so let's see how that goes. Fire Red or Leaf Green? I had Leaf Green first, so that's going to be Leaf Green for me. I did have both, though. They're incredible games. I am seeing immediately what looks like a section I know here on Phoenix. Twisty bit, love that. Also very good for building, right? Because it's just, let me just put all these things right in a line here. That's not a big deal at all. Then we got the start gate right at the edge of that, kind of lined up with another gate. Perfect. Flag in the middle of nowhere. That's pretty typical. Couple gates out here, kind of in the middle of nowhere, not really lined up with the flag or anything. It happens. This gate, maybe kind of sort of lined up with something over here. Maybe kind of sort of not. Maybe. I don't know. It seems like maybe this post right here is lined up. Again, far out section, this gate is... Is that in an angle, or am I might be imagining things. It seems like it's straight. Yeah. No. There's no way. Ever so slightly turned. I don't know. Might be in line with those. That's going to bother me. This is also ever so slightly turned. What is happening? Are these turned? No? Are these? No? What happened? Why are these at like a 3-degree angle? You're at an angle, not sure. You know what? I'm going to lash out immediately on that one. These are definitely at an angle. I don't know what's happening. Ultra Sapphire, Omega Ruby. I had Omega Ruby. That was my pick on that one. Nuzlocked them all. I don't have that level of TISM. Not for that game. Sun or Moon, didn't play either. Puzzle League's best Pokemon game, never even heard of it. I guess I'm a casual. Prove it. I'll see you at I.O. Alright. Wait, I have to give it a guess. I didn't give it a guess. Hold on, let me kill that. This one is coned pretty well, so it's not really a insane guess. What is happening? Okay, that's probably correct. Omega Ruby Groudon. Yeah, 100%. Primal Groudon. Yeah, huge. Okay, that's all what I thought it was. That's all what I thought it was. So it's counted pretty well. And then the, like, up and back. Is it just me, or does this feel also a lot like the Spring GQ from last year? Right, same like Matt's boobs at the end. Does loop into a different section in the right after that, but I feel like they put the same gates down and changed the order. Maybe? I don't know. I'll finish this run. Take a look at comments that I see going. I don't know those games, dude. Primal Reversion Ground. There you go. Insta Soybean. No track comments. Only accepting comments about Pokemon from now on. Yeah. This feels like they just moved the order of things on the Spring GQ somewhat. I don't know. It's not bad. Like, the Spring GQ was fun last year. It's just not fully original, or maybe it is. Maybe it's enough change. Just take my small brain a second to, you know, adjust. This is... First track for you. Chat Mag getting the voting done early. Didn't even look at the other 5. First track, done. Check the box. This kind of has a bit of everything, right? The nice left cork into a big sweep. Out to a big old split S. The Matt's boobs for slowdown. And just a big... Yeah. I don't know. This one's kind of good. It's not super complicated. Seems a lot like last year. But isn't that kind of a proven formula? Cannot find the flow of this track for speed. Interesting. I think it's... If you start at the start gate to try and find the flow, it feels wrong. If you just went straight to the second gate and went from there, I feel like you can find, like, a good pace and flow for it. But that start gate the first time around, or not the start gate, the first gate of the cork on that first lap's a little odd. That's actually a fun little tip. Like, if you're doing the GQ, just, like, taking off here and just beelining for the start gate, probably not great for your times. Right? Might make a little more sense to, hey, maybe I'll come back here and do the last element. Now it's more like every other lap where, well, I'm not just beaming at the start gate, right? It's a qualifier. So I can kind of, you know, cheese it a little bit and do the last section of the last lap, or of the 0th lap, because you didn't do any of the other track. And then you can just keep going from there, right? You're wasting barely any battery instead of throwing away an entire lap that you know is not going to be as good. So, if you haven't tried it before, give it a shot, unless your race director really doesn't like that, and then tell him I said hi, you know? But yeah, this one's all right. I like right corks more than left corks. Just a personal preference for me. Yeah. On a long enough timeline, every track is a copy of a copy of a copy. Probably. But some of them I remember because they made me hate myself more. This is my Rico Gray. No. Smooth. Couldn't even spread butter on it. Just slides right off. All thoughts bounce away. Which track is the better track? 2026 GQ Phoenix or 2025 Utopia Phoenix? You talking about the actual Utopia track, or was there one called Phoenix that I'm not remembering? Because I thought those were Mario themed. I don't know. Phil, I'm not reading that last comment. You save that for IO. Can't be talking to me like that 1,000 miles away. Overall, This one's another one that's nothing egregious, but like nothing super crazy about it either. I don't know. 2025 was Arizona themed entry. It's just funny how Phoenix has been the name of multiple anonymous tracks. 2025 was here. Yeah, I don't remember that track, Edoc. That was a year ago. I didn't even go to Whooptopia that year. How do you keep track of the ratings? Fun fact, I don't. I'm just kind of coming off them off the top of my head. Right, it's less of a numerical rating system where they all get good numbers even though I'm giving them numbers, and more of a relative rating system compared to each other. I can barely remember the last track. I kind of remember the tracks, but I'll probably, take a lap or two to remember fully. But the rating is relative, right? It's like, was I enjoying myself flying it? It's at 6 or 7 for this track. I think it's kind of in line with the others, where it's about a 7 for me. I'm going to go back just to run through them a little quicker this time. Missed the popularity contest. I don't. I lost 2 years in a row off the popularity contest to AK. Mostly because I don't post in my own groups about which track is mine. But, oh well. So back to Cerberus. Another track design be damned. Yeah, Cerberus once again, I mean, fairly classic, cool little section there with the drop-in cork. Oh, top down on this. Sort of a 5 degree at the end, but like not a bad one. One of the guys here in the bay won't tell us which one is his. I saw that in the chat, yeah. I really hope I didn't just absolutely trash his track. He's a cool guy. I don't know. This is pretty good. I'm a big fan. Pretty easy to get the hang of. Nice area, like, to save time. Whether it's in this section or carrying speed into here. It's taking that super tight. Good separator, even though it's not overly complex. Right? I feel like this is good for all skill levels on the GQ. Nice. Phil said he could just leak everything. Nice. Nice. You should. You should tell me who made which, and then I'll vote based on who I like the most, for old time's sake. He designed them all. Incredible. Alright. From Cerberus to Dragon. Dragon was the Good Bones track of the year, I feel like. A lot of interesting, like, individual sections, and then you put it all together, and it's just a little awkward. Like most of us. Oh, yeah. I don't know. This one's still not a big winner in my eyes. Wait. Is this built wrong? Phil, I didn't watch the videos on these earlier, on the official release, because that kind of defeats the purpose of first impressions. Is this section a cork, or can I just keep laddering and then go straight through here? Phoenix and Libra feel similar. Libra was last year's GQ for spring or something. I remember that's one of the ones from last year. And it felt familiar. I just couldn't place which track it was. But it was one of last year's GQ submissions. Again, I think I'm doing all these sections wrong. I don't know. Not a huge fan of that. Both love and hate all of them. The tracks and the designers. Incredible. Nice politically correct answer from you. At least the MultiGP file. Libra didn't win. Okay. I don't remember what won. They're spring and summer. That's what won. Yeah. Griffin was... Oh, yeah, the big double back sweeper one. This is nice. I like the little back and over for the ladder. But then it's into this whole deal. And the, like, sort of GQ section from the year before. But nice hurdle at the end. Not a useless hurdle. It actually does some separation. Ursa and Sagittarius one. Funny. Again, big sweeper's cool. This section's kind of a down and out. I'm not a huge fan of how this lines up, right? Because the ideal line, if there were no hurdle there, would be to take this ladder out wider and cut this way. Versus, oh, guess what? Take that ladder straight on and then turn after. That just doesn't feel like... I don't know. I'm just not enthused with this track. Doesn't do it for me. Kind of understanding the 1 stars on this one. I don't think it deserves that bad, but it's just not for me. Kraken. Don't remember this. I don't like so many things. Yeah. Sometimes it's like that. Kraken's our double split S entry. Into nice cork. This is cool. This big wide cork into the wide ladder. That's all fun. I'm a big fan of that. Again, just double down split S is... I don't know how they let that through. That feels like a pretty glaring goof up. Rest of it, though, pretty cool. Both of these sections, even individually, kind of cool. Yeah. I can see this being one of the... Oh, no, this is... It's a 1 GQ this year? We're voting on 1? Or are we still doing 2? E-Doc probably knows. I don't know. I don't really go outside. Which one is this? Kraken? Minotaur. Just 1 GQ. Wow. Back to 2023. Cerberus is peak. I'm kind of with you on that, Neon. Feels like the way to go in a lot of things. We're doing all 6. Dear God. More times than I flew open class last year. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. This one makes me think in a way I don't know if I like. Weird. Real odd. I don't know. Cool, but not. Split S needs to be mirrored. Maybe. I don't know. This one's cool, but in like a weird have to think about it when I'm flying away. Regionals, though, Bill says. I don't... Are they regionals? Doesn't feel like regionals to me. Because even if you win, yeah, you go to champs, but you also, if you're winning a regional, you're probably going to get in on the GQ anyway. I don't see a benefit outside of mixing it up and not flying the GQ all year. Maybe. Maybe there's something I'm missing. You can send me a text if I'm super wrong. We can argue about it there. Love doing that. Instead of Zipper leaderboard, we're doing the Plinko leaderboard. Love it. All for it. All for it. Yeah. Minotaur, pretty good in a weird, like, compound radius way. Real men skip the GQ, qualify off regionals. What a thought there, Charles. That's a... Damn. That's a baller move. I like that. Probably won't do it, but it's cool. Minotaur, cool life to think about at weight track, but like this turn into here kind of breaks it for me compared to the others. Phoenix. Just again doing like final review here. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's got to be Phoenix or Cerberus for me. Maybe Cerberus is it. This whole video was for naught. It was the first track I flew. Chetmac was right. Yeah. This has a cool feel to it the whole time. Maybe it's just me. Take a shot, Charles. I said it. Phoenix feels a bit tired. Yeah, it does. Feeling GQ will be further for me than champs. Regional, not GQ. Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, with the way Canada works, it's going to be on the other side. I don't know. I think we're going to go... My personal top 3 is probably going to be Cerberus, then Minotaur, then Phoenix? Probably? I don't know. My opinion might change in 20 minutes, but... Yeah, that seems right. I feel like this year went a little quick with just me, but Cerberus for the win, unless I change my mind. You never know. Alright, I mean, usually this ends with like, oh, it's whatever track you feel like. I wouldn't tell you how to vote, but I know what I'm probably going to vote for. So, do whatever you want. I don't care. It's your life. But yeah, that's going to be it for this year. If anybody wants to leave any last comments, anything heinous, I don't have the replay on, so nobody will ever see it again. Give it just a couple minutes for anybody who wants to say something, then I'll probably close up shop and call it. This one went by pretty quick. I'm not saying that, Red Sky. You know which one I designed. Didn't design a GQ track. Don't even have time to fly, let alone design a track. Much love for the Bay. Appreciate it, Andrew. Good chat with you. Please don't make... No. Do more of these lives. If you guys have ideas, leave comments somewhere. I don't always reply to everything, but I usually see stuff. Not saying fart. Oh, wait. Maybe I did. Who cares? I will say zebra, and you can cut it out. Perfect. Alright. Well, I'm going to call it there. Hope everybody has a good night, and I'll see you around for a race at some point. Maybe. Or IO. I'll be there. Favorite dinosaur? Dilophosaurus. Or Therizinosaurus. Probably Therizinosaurus. Peace.